Welcome back to Gamevine, and my name is David, and today we're taking a look at a abstract game, I would call, board game from IDW called Tonari. Let's check it out. So, Tonari. It is another ocean game, and you know how I feel about oceans if you watch the videos. I'm terrified of them. So playing board games are kind of hit and miss with me. Sometimes I like to live the theme vicariously. Sometimes I'm still terrified of it. But the theme isn't that very heavy in this game. It's more of just an art to put on this abstract game. This is a Bruno Ferduti game. Love Bruno Ferduti games. There are very few that I don't like. One of my favorite ones by him is Boomtown. But Tonari is a revamp of a game. It's a successor, and it has fantastic components. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you those components. The breakdown of the game is kind of like chip collecting, but you're cooperatively running the boat to competitively catch fish. That's going to make sense more in a second, but it's a pretty simple game. Before all that though, let's go check out the components. Okay, so here's what comes in the box of Tonari. It's pretty simple. You have the board right here. It's actually a relatively small board, so you can put this on a coffee table or a middle part of a couch and play really easy. And most of the game is these chips here. So you have some decent art on the front of them. There are some of these here that have some of the art kind of peeling away. I think which one is it here? Yeah, it's this one right here. You can kind of see it peeling away. Let it focus up just a tad bit, but that only happened on one or two chips, and I don't see that happening often. Just wear and tear, you know. So I'm pretty sure that these chips are going to stand the test of time. There is pretty cool art on the very back, no ink, so that's etched into the chip on every chip on the back here, so it's pretty cool. I like these. They have a nice sound to them. They have a good weight to them. They're a little bit slippery than I would like. And then you have this tiny little boat. So that's all you have in the box of Tonari. Now let me show you how to play with these pieces. Okay, so this is Tonari set up with a few missing chips because I want to explain the chips and what the powers do as well. I find when I explain what the chips do first and then explain how the game actually moves, it helps better. So these fish that have a single color, this blue, this yellow, this red, this green, they score one way. When you have one of the color fish, you get 1 point. When you have two of the red fish, you get 2 points for the second fish, and counting the one, so this bunch is worth 3, and then this is worth 3, so this would be worth 6. I think it's factorial, is what my partner said. So all 4 of these color fish just score like that. Easy peasy. This is also easy peasy. These shrimp here, I think there are 8 on the board. Whoever has the most at the very end of the game, they get 8 points straight out. You don't get any kind of negatives or anything like that if you don't have any shrimp. There is a few other pieces other than that. You have garbage. There's only 2 of these. You get negative 5 points if you have to take that. And this pink fish. This one's interesting because when you have the boat one space away from the pink fish and there's an empty space, you can get it. Otherwise, you can't access it at all. It has to be a straight line through an empty space that's 2 spaces away. But you get 5 points if you can't accomplish that, and there's 2 of those on the board. Now, that's how every fish scores in the game. Let me go over the powers really fast. Those are not that complicated, but all the chips have to be used on the board. You can't exclude the powers if you just want to have a simple game, so you got to learn them. This one right here just swaps 2 of the fish on the board anywhere you want. Just swap them, put them close, put them near. This one right here just explodes a fish from the board. Goodbye. This one right here has you trade one of your fish to another person, and this one right here is a 2 times multiplier. So you can put it on any fish you want, but all the players at the table are going to have that multiplier too. So this will be worth 10 points, but if somebody else has the pink fish, they will also get 10 points, and so forth with like the green fish. If I soak choose put on the green fish. Everybody that has green fish will have them double. That's what all the chips do in the game. Now let me show you how you actually move and accumulate those chips and what it takes to win the game. Let's go. Now the rules I'm going to be showing you today are the 2-player rules. There are a 3- and 4-player variant when where you're trying to get more points to the person next to you, and instead of getting points for yourself. It's a bit wonky. If you want to learn that, you can go ahead and read it in the book. This would just be an overview of the 2-player game. So what you're doing is everybody moves this boat collectively, just like in the newer Mario parties that I don't like. But this one actually works out better. So you can move it anywhere from the middle tiles where you start, so any space here, and then collect the tile. So let's say I'm going after shrimp, I would do that. Now you have to continue with the next person to move this to another tile that is populated with the fish. If I were to knock this out, and go here, and then knock this out and knock this out, I'm stranded, and well, there are no fish where I'm at, and the game ends. And that's happened to me one time where I started the game real fast and then it ended because the boat had no more legal moves. Now if this pink fish was right here, I could still get it because I have to jump 2 to get it. And you can also have 2 be one of the island tiles in the beginning, so this isn't just dead in the water. It does have some activity in the game if it comes into play like that. But you'll continue to do that, like I said, accumulating these little chips, doing the powers, trying not to get garbage. Sometimes you have to, because it's the only move in the game. You have to make a move if it's legal. Like I said, you'll accumulate the powers. The powers go off right when you get them, and you can just toss the chip aside, and then you'll just continue to collect all these fish, and whoever has the most points accumulated via fish wins the game. And again, that's a 2-player game. Very great back and forth play. 3- and 4-player game, you're gonna have to read that yourself. Again, I think that's wonky. Now let's get to my opinion and a grade to this game, and we'll go from there. Let's go. So that's Tonari. This game, I like it. I like it. Surprised me more than I thought it would. I was going to review this a little later because it's a C game, but something about it just drew me to it, and it's on the review shelf, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and review it. Now this is a IDW copy, so they review copy, so thank you so much, IDW. I really do appreciate your support. You help us grow. Now the grade I'm going to give this one, it's actually a pretty good one. It's 82. I think it's a solid abstract game. It's a game that I'm going to play over and over. Now sometimes this game can end abruptly. The very first game I ever played with my partner, we made about 3 moves and she won with 3 points because of the way that the board was just laid out, because it is randomized. So that was interesting, and I was like, huh, that's how this game's going to play? But then I played the second game, way different and way cooler, and the way that a 2-player game works in this is phenomenal. If you want a 2-player game, I recommend this highly. But if you want a higher scale game, 3 or 4, the rules are kooky, because when I'm trying to calculate stuff in my brain with score and board games, it doesn't always work so well when it gets a little, when it differs from the norm. So when I'm trying to keep track of my opponent's score to make sure he has more fish and points so I can win, I sometimes get jumbled, and in a few, like 1 or 2 turns, I'll start getting points for myself because I get excited, and then I'm like, oh wait, I have to make sure I'm forcing my neighbor to get fish. So I don't like that aspect of the game. If I had to choose, normally I don't want to play this at 3 or 4, and that's, I think, okay, because this game is a stellar game at a 2-player game. So with that being said, the components are fantastic. The art is okay. It is kind of rubbing off a little bit on the chips on some areas, but I think it will stand the test of time. So like when I say 82, it's an 82 for a 2-player game. 82, it's more, I think, like a 74 for a 3 to 4-player game. Still a fun game regardless, just not my style of play. So if it's something that you like, maybe that's going to be a hit at your house. But I recommend Tonari for anyone who likes abstract games and decent components. I was really surprised with just listen to it, and you've seen it before, that they're chunky components. So again, thank you so much IDW for supporting the channel with review copies. That's how we get them out fast and help support you, and you support us. And thank you so much for watching the video, Vine Nation. If you haven't already, click like and subscribe, and if you don't like the video, click dislike and let me know down in the comments below why you don't, so I can improve in the future. But I am Dave, and until the next time I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. Come join us in the next board game review. Bye. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.